Alright everybody, good evening and welcome to another match in our first week of playoffs. Tonight we've got EA versus Pak2 and shoutcasting with me we've got Cajun Wise Guy.
Hello everyone, on this fine April 17th, 2016 night here. And
this is going to be a pretty good game. We've got Pak2 from Group A was placed as second place, and for EA in Group B, they were third place. So this should be a pretty good game.
It could be, you know, and I think this is one of those matches that has the potential to go to 3 maps. You know, is Pak2 technically, yes, they're a number 2 seed, but you know, they lost to Eminence by only 3 rounds over 3 maps. So that's why I put technically a number 2. They could easily be a number 1.
Yes. Give me 1 second. I just need to look up something. We're getting this going.
Right now, as you see the stream, we got a few more players than that's normally associated with Clan Arena right now. I think both teams are trying to sort out their starting lineups. Some ping variation, of course. We can't go into games that really matter without having some discussion on even ping servers. I believe they're going through the map picks right now.
Yes, and for the playoffs, we did things a little bit differently. So for the coin toss, if you win the coin toss, you can choose to defer. So either you want to pick first, or you can go ahead and give it to the opposing team. And then instead of picking the map first, we had lots of feedback that people wanted to drop the map first. So how we're doing that is a drop, and then a pick, drop, and then the final map is your pick. And again, the playoffs is only best of 3. Before in regular season, we were playing all 3 maps for points, but now we're fighting to win those 2 maps. So things are a little bit different, but so far it's been pretty good.
Right. I'm trying to read through my chat history here to figure out if they actually did the drop, pick. It seems there's a little bit of confusion there. I think they dropped Devilish and Trinity. Maybe they picked Trinity.
I can ask him Holy. He is our moderator tonight. So
I definitely see they dropped Devilish, but I don't know.
Maybe they were confused.
Yes.
Which is going to happen. I know sometimes people do read the news and the forums on the battlegrounds.net. Sometimes they don't. So if you didn't read it, it would definitely be confusing because we've done it a certain way for a long time. So. And then, you guys are looking at the scoreboard. We're not doing 6-6. They're still just trying to figure out who they want to play tonight. So.
But there are a couple of things we can gather from the 6 players or 12 players that are currently on the server. Let's take a look. KGP stands out with a 20 ping. He's dangerous with a 50 ping. So having him with 20 roaming around. Yeah. So if Pak2's got a 20 ping player, then we gotta have some facsimile on EA's side. And
we're looking at pinger.
Yeah, we're looking at Form UK. I don't know a lot about him. Just kind of watching him in warm-up here. Seems certainly a capable player.
Find him. Oh, I found him. He's just sitting in a hallway. Capable of camping those stairs.
Currently, it looks like we've got Asylum and Quarantine are picked.
And I know everyone was super excited to see those 2 maps, so I kind of figured those are going to be popular ones picked across the board.
And they did drop. Trinity is dropped. It is confirmed. So.
Impressive.
Here is the link again, guys, to that multi-Twitch viewer if you would like to see Seaman versus Time Bomb right now. Let's see. I'm trying to see what's just to kind of update you guys on that one. It looks like they're on their second map. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I haven't been reading that chat, but that is the link for that if you would like to view that. Alright, so we're just waiting for the last map to be picked, and we'll get going. And we are having them pick the 3 maps in case it does come down to needing that 3rd map, just so that's something that we don't have to, you know, sit and stall and discuss later. It's definitely been pretty convenient for everybody to have the maps already before the game even starts.
So what's your prediction here, Trixie? Who's your? Let's just go. Who's the favored team here?
Well, that's a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with Pak2. I think they're gonna take the win on this one. I've seen they are constantly scrimming. I see them constantly scrimming. Demon, Eminence. I mean, it doesn't. Every time I ask Numbers to help me stream, I'm like, hey, can you help me stream? He's like, no, we're reviewing. We're going over our. They record all their demos and they sit there and they review it. So that's pretty intense. I've talked to Element and Clay a bit. You know, I'm not super positive with, you know, how the West Coast team, you know, since I don't play over there, I'm not too familiar with them, but just judging by Pak2's gameplay and EA's gameplay that I've seen in the previous regular season, I'm gonna have to go with Pak2 taking the win on this one tonight. But I do think it's gonna be a good game. I don't know about it being neck and neck, but I definitely think that there's maybe going to be just a couple point difference.
Yeah, I was spotting EA 5 rounds. Maybe that's being a little not recognizing their talent, but kind of as far as EA. You know, if you're rolling into this, spot EA 5 rounds, and we should end up with a 10-9 game. Pak2 or an Asylum. This is one of the first Asylum matches I've seen in the playoffs. So rail heavy. You're gonna see a lot of activity up top. Basically, 2 ways to play this. You can either contest top, or you can kind of disperse into the other parts of the map and kind of take shots of opportunity. But with it being highly rail, you know, at certain times, yeah, I mean, KGB is going to be in the mix here. Certainly Nav mode. We're going to be looking at overall on EA side, Element X Nemesis. I mean, we know that they're the breadwinners of the EA, and really it's going to come down to a couple of unknowns for me. If we're going to have Forum UK playing to kind of keep the pings even, if you will. I haven't seen him play before, so he's a little bit of an unknown here. Land. I don't know if he's going to be playing tonight, or Jesse. I don't know how they're going to settle this. I'd probably would go with Jesse. Seems to be just a little bit better ping. Similar skills, but again, you know, some of these players, they may see Asylum and go, at this level, it's not my strong suit.
Yeah.
You know, you really have to have that situational awareness with this map. When you're up top, can you focus on one target, or do you kind of get that ADD where you're kind of just waving that LG everywhere? Because your target's going to drop behind a corner, it's going to drop behind teammates, and you got to make that decision whether you're going to chase that target or you're going to switch a target. And at this level, I'm telling you right now, you want guns out of action. All 8 players on the server are extremely talented, can really pull some damage down if they're left to just wander around, even with 1 health. And like I said, this level, it's rail oriented, so 1 health, and you're off in the background sniping rails. I mean, you could easily do, you know, 160 damage with 2 rail shots with 1 health, simply because they couldn't close the deal at the first beginning 15-20 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm still going with Pak2 on this one. Now you get into quarantine, I think that it's going to kind of even up a little bit. I think Pak2 is superior in the CQB fighting. You know, the close-up, point-blank fighting. They go toe-to-toe with the best teams in the league, and they do well there. So that's kind of their arena. What I would pay attention to is, if you're spectating, is where are the players positioned, because they're going to have set game plans, and you know, are you going to have, for instance, who's going to be handling stairs, who's going to be handling the top platform, and what are their roles going to be. So we're going to see how that plays out. But Edge to Pak2, maybe I unfairly kind of gave EA -5 rounds, but I'm going to stick with it.
Yep, I totally agree. It looks like they started getting ready, so this is exciting. Sorry guys for the delay. Typically we run things a little quicker, but because it's the playoffs, you know, obviously we're gonna take our time and let the players make sure they pick who they want to get in here, because this is it. You know, you're fighting for that championship, that surprise reward you'll receive if you become a champion. And we'll be announcing that pretty soon. We got to keep you guys on edge, so. Alright, so it looks like we've got everybody in here. So for EA, we've got Jesse, so you were right on that one, he stayed, Element, Nemesis, and we get to see the Form UK. And then for Pak2, we've got Squeeze, KGB, Nose Mode, and Pit. I will try to have the accuracy up. I'm hoping the server is protected and I don't get booted. Some boot me, some don't, so we'll find out. If I do get booted, just, you know, hang on. It'll take me just a couple minutes to get back in. Not a minute, a couple seconds. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and start off with that Form UK. Let's see what he's got.
Yeah, he's going to be kind of how, you know, he's the wild factor here, so.
Round begins in
So it looks like we're taking the typical positioning on Asylum. Topping stairs. He's going after KGB. Beautiful lightning.
Doing a
gun.
great job.
Beautiful. Wow. Nice job, but Pak2 was able to take that. Let me get
69% LG.
Oof.
You know, granted he caught KGB on the bounce pad, so that's kind of, there's a little asterisk next to that stat, but.
Yeah. Pitt doing a really nice job with his rockets, but he got taken out by Element, unfortunately.
red wins the round.
There we go, 1-1. Quick look, Form UK is leading his team right now with damage, and looks like Nove mode on Pak2.
Round begins in 3.
Yeah, KGB keeps lining up on the stairs. You know, he wants, you know, and that's the whole, one of the analysis that I made earlier on ebattlegrounds.net is if you really want to try and keep Pak2 is keep KGB in check. You know, you don't want him running around in the background because of his insane LG and rail, you know, so. And that's what they're doing right now. And I mean, they're 1-2, they're only 1 round behind. They're getting down to the, yeah, and there we go. You know, you get KGB out there, and he just does that damage. So I still see KGB lining up on the stairs, faced off against Form UK. So.
Yep. Looks like maybe that's Form UK's job. Find KGB.
I believe so.
Very nice lightning gun, 54%. He's an aggressive player too. Nova mode, last man standing, 91 health. EA catching up, 2-3.
Accuracy.
Quick look at the scoreboard for you guys.
Round begins in.
I'm gonna go ahead and
3,
stay on Jesse.
2, 1.
Yeah, Jesse's playing that kind of that middle role where you're just going to take tons of damage, and you know your life cycle is roughly measured in seconds. But it's critical on Asylum for those center players because you kind of guide how the battle goes up. You know, if you want to force your fire to be on the stairs,
Accuracy.
that's where you're going to win. If you're going to be forcing your targets up on the platform, you know, that's where your teammates should be following you. So that's kind of how that role gets played. And it's very important. But how it breaks down is if you need to be in the fight for more than 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So you just can't be a pylon with blinking orange lights on it.
We got a tough battle going on here. Jesse's last one standing. That was a tough one.
You know, Jesse's doing a solid job. Like I said, you know, he's up in the middle of it, so rockets are gonna be a good tool. You know.
EA had Nemesis on that top bridge this time.
Now, I'm noticing a few things. If spectators watching this, watch the weapon selection. When you're up top in these really quick fights that are lasting less than 10 seconds, you really don't want to be weapon selection. You kind of got to go with what you have. You know, if you start with rockets, you just have to stick with it, even if it's a less than ideal weapon. Because if you're switching, your gun's out of action until your cycle time comes around. And Jesse's been caught with that a couple of times. Has the rocket launcher up, and then he transitions over to the rail. And in that cycle time, he's just getting pounded, and then he misses his rail. Had he just stuck with the rockets, he probably, granted, he might have still lost, but at least he would have had some damage to take with it.
Yeah. One thing that drives me crazy, and I've seen it 2 times so far in this matchup, is in this situation, just like you were saying, and then it's close up and they whip out the rail. It's like, yeah, okay, that one rail direct, yes, probably would have killed him, but your chances of missing that compared to, you know, the splash damage of a rocket or even a shotgun with a wider splatter. And I was like, oh no, I just do that. We also have to factor in, you know, everyone's adrenaline is probably pumping right now, our nerves especially.
And EA's fighting back here, down only 1 round. They've won 2 rounds in a row here. The fighting's getting a little dispersed. It's not so top-centered right now. Nemesis kind of working that bounce pad side. He was doing some great damage. He got teamed.
I was on KGB that time, and KGB and Form UK still at it.
And you have to dedicate a partner to that. The other ones, you know, granted, KGB right now isn't lighting up the board with stats, but that's because they've got somebody dedicated to keeping him down. You know.
Red wins the round.
Now
that was a great.
It's going to be interesting here if we get to an 8-8 scenario. Do we start seeing players kind of go away from the top? Because nobody's really being successful in a dominant fashion.
This is true. Nova mode with a nice rail.
Elman X was chasing targets up top, but 7-7. The underdog. Everybody's rooting for the underdog.
Round begins in 3.
I know Kaboosh, he's a very big fan of EA. He always talks about how so many people, you know, don't give EA as much credit, like they're a solid team, and like you said, underdog, like that's what he calls them. They're kind of like the hidden talent.
All right, we got KGB trying to keep the spirit alive here, and you know, he's going 1-on-3, and he's down to 1 player. So this is why you don't let him roam around. I mean, he single-handedly almost took out 3 players.
EA taking the lead here. Let's see if your prediction's right. Let's see if we're going to 8 to 8.
3, 2.
Well, my prediction was Pak2 was going to be winning this by 5 rounds.
Yes, yeah.
That's clearly not going to happen. So, what is Pak2 not quite doing right, or is EA really doing right? It seems when the teams kind of get dispersed a little bit, Pak2 has a slightly better advantage in that scenario.
Yeah.
EA, when they get stretched out, they don't do quite as well.
To answer some of your guys' questions in the chat, this is actually the first map. We had a little bit of a delayed start due to trying to figure out which server had the most even pings. Let me find Nemesis. Nemesis alone with 45 health. Alright, let's see if EA can pull another one.
Yep. And looks at the top of the leaderboard. We got KGB at the top. Form UK still at the top, though.
Oh, KGB picked a different position. He's up in top now.
Right. You know, and that's where it kind of got down to that 8 to 8. We got to do something a little different.
Yeah, good call.
And the transition was enough to throw EA off. So, I got a screenshot here, but.
Yeah, that was definitely an impressive match.
Very competitive,
Absolutely.
which is good. You know, we're going through some of the stats here. EA Form UK was leading, 5.6k damage, 48 LG. You know those are world-class stats. Jesse following in, 4.9, 4.7, 4.4. So EA's kind of fixed their issue of having really 2 good players than 2 support players that were too far off the pace. They've shored that up. They're really competitive right now.
Yeah.
Pak2 was able, they really weren't, even though they were targeting KGB a lot in the first few rounds, I'd say, you know, for 70, 75%, you looked at the scoreboard, KGB was at the bottom for the longest time. And then they lost containment. KGB switched to the top. He said, look, yeah, I don't like Form UK as my dance partner anymore. I'm going to go over here. And bam, now he's at the top.
I was honestly surprised that didn't happen a long time ago, though. I mean, we were like, what, 6, 7 rounds in? They were still going at it. Right. You know, I mean, they weren't winning, but they weren't really losing either. Sure.
So, but you kind of get to that 8 to 8. And it's a gamble, but you change something, and that's what they did. They get KGB out of that arrangement, and we watched him. You know, he was now playing cleanup. Previous 70% of the rounds, he was not the cleanup guy. EA's able to hang with them and made it real competitive. As soon as they lose containment, you know, he's racking up the damage, 400-500 damage per round, and he's quick, he's aggressive, really, really tough player. We saw that. There was 3 EA players versus 1 KGB. Now, granted, EA won that round, but just barely. Yeah, definitely. So now, I just noticed that Nove Mode went, he stepped out and let Doc in. So, I mean, what do you think about that? Do you think that was a smart move on their end, or should they have kept this such a good game? You know, if I'm a coach, I'm going with what works.
I was thinking the same thing. That would be a little scary to me to rotate, just because it was such a close game.
Quarantine, I mean, it's a decent map. It's been around for a while. I would not be. Yeah, I'd have to have a really good reason to be switching on. Now, if Doc's quarantine specialist, and here we go, then I'd do it.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stay on Doc. We'll see how he starts it off, but. Yeah, that made me a little nervous, just stepping a new player in, you know, when it was such a good game, but
round begins.
We'll see. I know Doc's a solid player, so it's definitely,
A lot of, you know, Form staying up top. right on the landing, Eagle landing. So
EA takes
wow,
that
they
one.
they won that handedly. So
Round begins in 3.
yeah, before we started here, before we started brought me and Trixie were talking, and you know the choice came down to which map to kind of broadcast tonight. We picked this one, or I picked this one because I thought it had more of a potential to go to 3 maps. You know, if EA keeps this strong, like they did that first round here, I could see them taking this one.
And right now it's a close one. Jesse with 12 and Squeeze with 14. He still has a shotgun out, so I think he knows.
Oh yeah, when you get to this level, it's not fast moving.
Oh, as I say that. Oh no, so sneaky. But hey, that was a good one. Good job, Squeeze.
Yeah, because you know, at this level, with these levels of players, you do not want to give your position away, and you give your position away by bouncing off the walls, rocket jumping everywhere.
Picking your weapon, a rail or lightning gun.
Right.
Or...
Yeah.
Yep.
Slow and steady wins the game.
2 rails, impressive.
Now they're done.
Nemesis, but he is stacked at 173.
Yeah. You hear somebody screaming.
Yeah, KGB's low.
They're both railable too, so let's see. Sitting with the 50% rail. Nemesis down to 8 though. To answer your question, yes, Lego. Nemesis and Sidemen are different people.
Recap some of those that joined for this. This is the second map. Pak2 won first one. Asylum 10-8. This is a best of 3 series. This is the playoffs.
Accuracy.
Pit doing a nice job with damage on Pak2 and Element on
3.
EA. Let me go over to Element. Where? Yeah, there you are. Nice direct rocket.
Form doing damage up top, but needed a teammate desperately.
Jesse
Doc with
51.
154.
Yeah, and Doc with 154. I'm gonna stay on Jesse since he's only sitting with 51.
Now we're getting into, you know, we went back to that discussion. Should Doc be here? Is this a good solid swap? Let's look at the scoreboard. We're getting a lot of diverse, you know, a lot of variance. 1.5K for Pit and 851. So Doc is half the damage of Pit right now. Now you switch over to EA, same lineup, 1.3, 1.3, 1.1. You know, it's real even. So,
Round begins in 3.
EA needs to start exploiting
1.
probably Doc, you know, just as a team. And right now Jesse's got obliterated by a 2-on-1.
That was a
You know, if
rough
he's getting a
situation.
2-on-1, his teammates have, you know, they got to be, you know, they got the advantage elsewhere, and they need to get that job done quick. Jesse's not going to be lasting long in a 2-on-1. So in your 3-on-2, you need to be getting the job done.
2, 1, fight.
Form UK, he was on Eagles enough, but he jumped down, which was probably a good call. I think he was outnumbered there. So definitely, see what's going on. We've got the 3-3 situation.
Yeah, and I think EA is doing the right route here. Spreading Pak2 out a little bit and hitting them in the teamwork area.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I'm like, are they doing this on purpose? Being a little bit more spread out?
Yeah. Like I said, you know, going close up with Pak2 would not be my preferred route to win.
3, 2.
Because it's, you know, there's a couple of times that EA really needs, they need that teamwork.
Thank you, Roscoe, for updating Blood on the situation and what happened. This is the second map.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1.
Right now, Element X holding court. Wow, all of Pak2's hardcore.
Yeah, they were pushing.
Top.
Absolutely. Initialize, to answer your question, it'll be campground if they go to a third map.
They're down to 3 players right now. EA, but they're really... Jesse's solid 158. He's probably going to end up closing this out. Pitt, looking at Pitt at 75, so he's going to take unless somebody can land a rail on him.
And there you go. Someone landed a rail.
So EA's found a formula to success here. You know, which is kind of, look, back to you want Eagle's Nest. Yeah, we'll fight you maybe a little bit for it. But, you know, we'd rather just kind of jump in there and stab you with a few rails from time to time.
I find Jesse, he's last one here. He's got 2 Pak2 members left.
Alright, KGB down to 72, so he's railable, but Pitt's at 119, so Jesse's gonna have to... He is going to have to hit some rails here. Unfortunately, the shotgun out is not going to do it.
Ooh, got lucky with a little damage there.
By little, we mean 3.
Yeah. Hey, that 3 could, could be all it really needs.
Yeah, Jesse's kind of zoomed in under that ledge, hoping to catch... Oh!
Avoiding it.
Well, you can let them be there, but I think EA was doing a great job in the beginning, or, you know, with that intermediate round, and you're not wandering around.
Yep.
3, 2.
They were being very patient, not hunting for him.
Bad weapon choice by Element X. He started, I don't even think he realized he had it out, because he lined up like he was using the LG and a rail fired. As a player, we've all done this, especially if you don't run with the gun model out, which I don't. So that just automatically means you're dead.
Looks like Pak2 is just trying to hold Eagle's Nest down. If I was
I don't know.
I would be avoiding it.
Well, you can let them be there, but I think EA was doing a great job in the beginning, or, you know, with that intermediate round, which was, you know where they're at. There's no mystery to it.
Blue wins the round.
Yep, I agree.
Toss fire in on it, do some random shots, but by contesting it, by putting some of your strong players right in the middle of a meat grinder, like forms right in the middle of 3 Pak2 players, gets himself out of it, but
3-3 situation here. Now down 3-1.
And KGB is stacked, though. We're gonna see. This is what KGB does well. 160 health. He's alone. He's aggressive, but faced with, he'll probably. He's good enough to get out of these situations, you know. Us mere mortals, not so much.
Beautiful lightning gun. Are we gonna see it happen? You can only root for him in these situations because not many people can pull it off.
Yeah, and that's, as you're watching this, this is that skill level where you're having 2 very skilled players move in on him, and that was the whole key to one of EA's points that I said that they had to do. They couldn't let KGB do this, just wander around.
Yeah. That was a nice run from KGB. He almost had that.
2, 1.
Looks like Form UK is trying to get an Eagle's Nest and not let Pak2 in there.
See, Jesse's way outside of Eagles, and he's not helping his team at all.
Yeah, you gotta wonder what the plan is right now. Is it something that they're doing on purpose?
You-
But, you know, I don't know.
Red wins the round. 2 frags in 2
Nice.
seconds. Excellent.
Guess you played a good bait there.
Round begins in
EA up
2,
1 round.
1.
First time here.
Element tried to get as much damage in there as he could.
Blue wins the round.
Gosh, what a good game. 7-7.
7-7.
Come on, EA. We want to go to the third map.
Round begins in 3, 2, 1.
Looks like Pak2's still taking that upper level. They haven't
Yeah, they,
changed it one bit.
you know, unless EA really forces them to do something different, I think they're going to stick with it.
Jesse coming in from behind, just like before. Almost.
Accuracy.
Quick look at that scoreboard here for you guys. Pretty even damages across that scoreboard.
Round
For EA,
begins.
Yeah,
especially.
for EA,
Yeah.
it's very even. Pak2 with more variation, 4.8k for KGB, and then we got Doc down to bottom, he's 1,000 down, so.
Jesse, last one standing with 87. He's got Squeeze with 17 and Doc with 38. So this is definitely doable. You
Oh, yeah.
have to play smart.
You know, and Doc and Squeeze. Well, Squeeze is kind of out there, and he's kind of roaming around right now. They're just separating themselves. They know that they're so weak that you find one, you're probably going to get 2 kills.
Yeah. Jesse took out one. Now Squeeze only with 17.
Jesse with 52.
I'm going to flip over real fast to Squeeze. I just want to see where he's at. Okay, they're coming
they're-
up to each other here.
Jesse's just
So
wouldn't
close.
have the rocket out, but
Blue wins the
Oh.
round.
Oh, man.
you know, those are the rounds you look back and you go,
Round
we could have won this map
Yes.
3,
because of that round.
2,
Yeah.
1. Fight.
That is definitely one of those rounds. You're just kind of like, darn. Alright, so I'm watching.
Yeah,
Pak2.
EA's
There's
playing
no-
way back.
Yeah, there's
They-
no one in
they've-
sight. Well, it's coming down, you know, we got 8 and 8, and you said last time, you're like, I wonder if it's 8 and 8, are they going to change the strategy? Well, they did. Another, you know, a different map, but now they're trying a different strategy. But Pak2 is separating a little bit. I'm still on Squeeze, he's been by him. Oh, he was kind of by
Yeah,
himself.
this is where it gets dangerous, because if you got one player that, you know, gets cold from the herd, and yeah, they quickly run into a you know, a 2-on-1 matchup. So I think it's not a bad strategy, but I don't think it was executed as well as it should have.
Yeah.
They had 2 people that were encroaching on Eagle. You know, I'd play Pak2's aggression against them. You know, if you're gonna play that card to be back from Eagle, then use it. Then do that. Don't go back there, because you know that's where they're at. You know, if you want to get just a quick opportunity shot, I mean, there's just better ways to do it. There's
Yeah.
that are less risky than walking up there.
We got 15 seconds on the clock,
Blue wins the round.
and Pak2 would have won that, considering they had 3 players, so I think that's a little bit why EA got more aggressive.
Round begins in
Alright, let's
3,
see. I'm rooting for EA right now. I wanna go to the third
It looks
map.
like they're going to contest Eagles, so EA's all over it.
Jesse taking on KGB. We're trying to
Nemesis.
protect him though.
Excellent.
2-2 situation. EA pretty stacked. Hit with only 2 health. I'm gonna follow him. And there we go, 9 and 9. I can't
Nice
even
shot
watch.
by
I can't even watch.
How are they gonna approach it? Are they
Round begins.
gonna contest? Everybody contest the top or not? I don't know.
Fight.
They are. EA took it into singles nest, but there's grenades everywhere, so that can be dangerous. Three to
3-3.
Oh no. Elements last
3-1.
No
Done.
pressure here. They are all railable though.
It's hero time.
He looks confused.
Well, they don't have to chase him. I mean,
Nope. And they're probably sitting up at Eagle's Nest, probably waiting him out.
well, they're all at bridge. They're all at Broken Bridge, just kind of hanging out.
He's switching his
'Cause
weapon
they
a
know.
lot.
It's hard to get sneak shots in there. At Eagle, you got different options. You can kind of poke a shot in. Broken Bridge, I mean, it's kind of a dead end alley, so. And Pak2's played this brilliantly. I mean, Element X is all over Eagle, thinking that's where they're at, and they're just not.
It looks like Pak2's on the
And
move
now
I'm
it's
surprised.
dawned on him. It's dawned on him now. He knows where they're at. Yeah, there's only so many places you can go.
Oh no. He's gonna have to do something here. He just made a loud noise though. Oh god, oh god. Oh, what a nice try. What a good game though. That was fun to watch. Definitely a teeth clencher.
Solid play by EA. I mean, these guys, they're going to drop down to the lower bracket now. They really have a chance to run deep into the bracket. So, they played them extremely difficult, and they came up, like I said, that one round cost them, and this could have been an EA win, but that's how it goes.
That's
But
how
looking
it
at
goes.
looking at the stats, Form leading EA with good 6,200 damage. Jesse right behind him with 5,800, and then Nemesis and Element X for 49 and 51. So, really fairly even. 1,000, I guess, between Element X and Form UK. We dropped down in Pak2. KGB was 6,500, and then it was 56, 49, and then Doc at 47. So a little bit more of a spread, kind of like 1,500 spread, 1,800 spread. But it still comes back to that key point of it's easier to contain KGB on Asylum than it is on Quarantine, and they kind of paid for that. So MVP, even though this is the losing team, I'm kind of giving the MVP to Form. He had a slightly better KD ratio, 15 frags, 13. He was right there, but he was doing a lot of damage, and his LG was great. His rail was 45. A really strong argument could be made for KGB. He did out damage him and had pretty much similar KD ratios. He had a 71% rail. Yeah. Yeah, you look at it that way. Yeah, maybe I got to switch my answer. Go with KGB as the MVP. You know, he's that dynamic player that really can almost put a team on his shoulders and, you know, force them into a win. And I think for a couple of these rounds, that's what he did. Because there were some rounds where, you know, he just does that so much damage that if you can't knock his gun out early, you better have a good answer for it. And EA just came up short. Like I said, that one critical round, this could have been their win. We'd be
Yeah,
on our
you gotta
third map.
wonder, the conversations that they're having right now, if they're talking about that, but it was such a good game, definitely.
Yeah, I have been in these scenarios. These are the losses that just stick with you because it comes down to nuances. Had, you know, Jesse been facing the other way at the top of Eagle when he got shot in the back, when he was waiting with the shotgun, had I turned left instead of right, had I not missed my one rail at this point, you know, it's just those little gnawing mistakes that just
Yeah.
that grind on you.
Hmm.
And you're gonna it's gonna be with you for a couple of days, and but you're going to be dropping down into the lower bracket, and any team that's going to be facing EA is going to watch this and say, "Wow, we got ourselves a game here." So I think they're going to drop down against Weekend Warriors. I'm not exactly sure on that.
Let's see. I think Initialize posted the bracket. Where is it? Let me click on that real quick. Um, yes. So now you're right. EA will be playing Weekend Warriors, and Time Bomb will be playing Marginal Talent. I was under the impression that Time Bomb won that, but I think MRZ in chat was joking around because looks like that the bracket's already ready to go. So gonna be some good matches. And then let's see, starting tomorrow, everyone's able to sign up for their matches again. We've got Eminence versus Pak2. That'll be another great game to watch, and Seaman and LS. So we shall see how week two in playoffs, I should say. It's crunch
All right,
time.
then
We're
the
coming
the lower
down.
bracket's going to get busy.
Yep. Yes, exactly. All right, guys. I hope you guys saw the chat. More and more details about the Insta Capture the Flag will be posted as soon as we have it. We don't want it to interfere right now with playoffs. Plus, we're still working on details with that, so stay tuned for that. But signups should be probably right after playoffs. And then, other than that, that's it for me. Thanks everybody for watching tonight. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Good
And
night, everyone.
thanks, Wise Guy, for coming in and keeping me company. All right, good game. See you guys on the battlegrounds.